Hey, you want the smoke? I got the smoke. Let's talk about it. Coming to you raw and uncut. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Alright, if you agree or disagree. Let's talk about it. SmackDown. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't that great? All the matches are kind of more like a repeat session of matches that we've seen for the last few weeks and stuff with some of these wrestlers. There was a couple of new matches and everything, but anyway, we'll talk about that. Okay, we have Seth Rollins coming out. I mean, Seth Rollins saying the same thing, about him, the faction, how he's going to win Money in the Bank, and just take control of the wrestling industry and stuff. I mean, basically, he's saying that can nobody stop him? Who's gonna stop him? You know, and if anybody stops him or tries to stop him, he's gonna do them like he did, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, all of them. I mean, he actually kind of like they kind of like beat the hell out of all of them and stuff. But then out comes Solo Sikoa with Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. So they have a pretty much, pretty good standoff and everything. And, Solo is, trying to say to Seth, you know, that his faction is kind of like the bloodline. I mean, he's saying Braun Breaker is kind of like Jey Uso, the right hand man, when Roman Reigns was in charge of the bloodline. And then he says Bronson Reed is the Sami Zayn, the honorary Oos of it. So he's calling them out on the fraction, and it's just like what Seth was saying about a while back about the bloodline and everything. So he's being called out on what he was against before. And then, Solo was telling Bronson Reed about the fact that they were in war, together. They were on the same side. Bronson Reed was with the Bloodline when they went up against Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and all of them. And Bronson Reed beat the hell out of Seth Rollins. I mean, he tsunamied him hundreds of times, And so now he's joined up with Seth Rollins. So I don't really get it. And then you have Braun Breaker over there, who actually Braun Breaker can or could be the future of the WWE. I mean, with the talent that he has, he's good in the ring, he's good on the mic, and it's crazy. But Seth says that that their faction is the future of the industry and everything. And I say Triple H in this writing is what's going to destroy the industry because I don't understand what is going on and stuff with these storylines and stuff because they're just not making sense and anything. But anyway, that's what that was. And let's get started and talk about some of these matches. All right, you have Jimmy Uso against JC Mateo. That match was a pretty decent match. I'm gonna say all the matches tonight were pretty good. I mean, there were some missed spots and everything. Nothing really, bad about them and everything. They, were some were exciting and stuff. But the Jimmy Uso and JC Mateo match. I mean, it ended up being a pretty decent match. As Mateo was beating Jimmy down, Solo was constantly asking Jimmy, "Hey, come on, you're gonna join us? If not, you're gonna continue to get this whooping and stuff." And Jimmy, he's not gonna go with Solo, at least not right now. I don't know in the future it could happen, but for right now, it's not going to. And then you have Mateo. Let me say one thing about JC Mateo. For a guy his size, he is very athletic. He can get up there now. That drop kick and that standing moonsault, that was great for a guy his size and everything. But ultimately, throughout the interference and everything, Jimmy rolls JC Mateo up and Jimmy wins the match. Okay, and then you have this little segment with Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu. And Damien said that, it's tough dealing with, family members because sometimes it is tough and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because he says that he's been there before, and at some point, and at some point he's telling Jacob that he's going to come after Jacob's title. And Jacob told him, if you come correct, because if you don't come correct, you're going to be back at the end of the line like everybody else. And he said, Yaramin. So, and then walks off. Then we have the match with Selena Vega and Piper Nevers. Now, I'm so sick of seeing this because ever since Selena beat Chelsea for this title, she's always been fighting against them. And, and it's weird, if either, it's either Alba Fire or, you know, um, Piper Niven. It was Chelsea until Chelsea got her nose broke, so she's not going to be able to get into the ring until that kind of heals up and stuff. But you know, that was crazy and stuff. But so Zelina, the match is pretty good. There were some spots in there. Looked like Selena's getting a little bit better in the ring, moving, doing different things and stuff. But any outcome, Julia comes out, she attacks Piper Nivens, hits her with the kendo stick and everything, and Zelina power slams Piper Nivens through the table, and she wins. Then Julia's like trying to, act like she's gonna, be happy that Zelina won, and then turn her back on Zelina, and she drops Zelina on her head, and that's it. So you figure that Julia and Zelina will be fighting for that U.S. title, and eventually that title will end up on Julia. And I don't know what may be the outcome of Zelina as far as her being in WWE any further. So okay, and then Cody and Jimmy were in the back. They were sitting down, not Jimmy, but Cody and Jay were talking. And then Jimmy comes in and he asks Jay if he was okay. And Jay's saying, "Why is everybody asking me if I'm okay?" And then Jimmy goes to tell him that, he has all these matches. He got the match tonight and everything. Not tonight, but he, on tonight. He's got the match tomorrow. And then that Monday, he wrestles Gunther for the title. So I guess, his brother was just looking out for him. And then Aleister Black, segment was blaming LA Knight for stealing the win when they had their triple threat match. And it was kind of true, he black masked, I can't remember who it was in the ring with. But anyway, LA Knight, he stole the match. I think it was Solo that he hit with it, and no, it wasn't Solo because Solo didn't get pinned. But anyway, LA Knight won the match. Aleister Black was pissed off about it, and so now they have their match and everything. And then during their match, Seth Rollins comes out with his faction. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and they came out and they destroyed LA Knight and Aleister Black. You know, they were, everybody took a spear. LA Knight took a spear. He got tsunami. He got his Oh man, he got his head stomped. Aleister Black received the same punishment, and they were just all over the place, you know. So I guess Seth is trying to make a statement of some kind and everything, or trying to injure people. So for tomorrow night when they come in for Money in the Bank, everybody be too sore, you know, to continue on in the match. Then you have Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce talking about King and Queen, you know, of the Ring, which will be coming up pretty soon. And the lineup is I'm sure the lineup's going to be good. Don't know who's going to be in the matches or who's going to be in the qualifying matches or whatever the case may be. But whoever the winner of that prospective brand, you know, Raw or SmackDown, gets to challenge for the title at SummerSlam. So that's pretty good. You know, and then, you know, have Jay Cargill coming out saying that she's going to be win, you know, the Queen of the Ring, and then Charlotte's, you know, out there saying that Salt and Sugar look the same, you know, and she told her to choose her friends wisely. Um, and I'm thinking that she's talking about Bianca and Naomi and stuff, and then Charlotte saying that she's gonna, you know, win Queen of the Ring and everything, and then Tiffany Stratton comes out and she tells them good luck and walks off. Then we got Chad Gable talking about, you know, in his segment, talking about, you know, he's going to win the AAA championship, you know, and Worlds Collide and stuff, you know, and that El Grande was going to, that same day was going to come out and he was going to win, you know, Money in the Bank and stuff, and then cash in on somebody and stuff. But we all know that Chad Gable is good in the ring. You know, he's good on the mic. So he's going to be playing double duty, but I don't see him winning, you know, Money in the Bank or anything like that. I think it's either going to be LA Knight or Seth Rollins. It's going to be one of the two. It could be Solo, but I don't think it's going to be him because right now he is, you know, the U.S. champion, and him and Damian seem like they're kind of getting into a little bit of something. So we may have to wait on that. So I don't think he's going to win Money in the Bank. So I'm thinking that it's going to probably be, and I hope it's LA Knight so he can make his run, you know, towards the championship and stuff. And then Tiffany Stratton comes out and does, you know, her little thing and stuff. And I don't know. She's like, whoever wins, you know, the Money in the Bank, there's no problem to her because if they challenge her, she's going to take care of that situation and put them down and continue to still be champion. I don't know if that's going to be true, but we'll see. And Rhea Ripley comes out, you know, telling her it's like she's never been in Money in the Bank before, but she knows what it is to be a real champion and stuff. So yeah, I mean, so I don't think that, you know, Rhea's gonna win this either. I really believe Naomi's gonna win Money in the Bank and stuff because I think there's gonna be a setup where there's gonna be a triple threat and it's gonna involve Naomi, Bianca, and Jade. Not sure how that's gonna go, but I'm just guessing at that and everything. But you know, Rhea's saying that she's gonna win, and if she wins, you know, Tiffany Stratton is who she's coming after. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, man, it was a lot of talking, a lot of yapping tonight. You know, there was 5 matches, but there was a lot of talking. All right, then we had Stephanie Valkyra, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley against Naomi, Roxanne Perez, and Julia, which was a pretty good tag match and everything. And it was going good until Naomi decided that she's gonna leave Roxanne Perez hanging and jump off the apron from the ring and just walks away. And Roxanne took some punishment. She was riptide and pinned by Rhea Ripley. So basically, Naomi left her to the wolves. So, and then you got JC, Mateo, and Solo Sokoa. They're talking in the back, and you can always tell that there's something. I kind of knew it. So sooner or later, it's going to be Jacob. So something's going to happen down the ring because basically, Solo was saying that Jacob has no brains. He's not smart and everything. And JC Mateo is asking Solo whether he trusts Jacob or not, because of what happened in the match and stuff. But it 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 it's crazy. But that might end up being something good. I don't know. Might be something good. But you talk, but you gotta understand who's on the other side of the wall or the other side of the door listening. And Jacob Fatu was listening, so I'm sure there's gonna be something next week about that conversation that Solo and Jason Mateo had. And then you have Penta and Andrade. Wow, it's late, and I'm tired. I haven't been to sleep in almost 24 hours. So, but anyway, against the Creed brothers, the match was okay. It was pretty good. There was some missed spots and everything in there, but ultimately it was good. But then again, in the match, here we go again. Penta and Andrade win because of interference, because Seth Rollins comes out with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and they destroy Penta and Andrade. They got the same treatment that everybody else got. They got Spirit, Stomps, and Tsunami. And then Paul Heyman comes out. He's saying the same thing about Seth Rollins and that Seth Rollins is the future of the industry. Saying more what they've been saying for the last few weeks or a couple of months and stuff. So it's the same thing that Seth Rollins is the future of wrestling, and that Braun Breaker, is going to be the head of the wrestling industry. He's going to be the future champion and go on and destroy people and stuff. And then Cody Rhodes comes out, and then Jay comes out. So they're talking and everything and stuff. It's just basically the same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. Then John Cena comes out, and that's just when John Cena comes out, Jey Uso turns around, he catches a good right from Logan Paul. Logan Paul has been getting Jey Uso with that sucker punch every week. And he just lays him out. And I mean, they put the beat down on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And they hold up the belts. And John Cena is saying that Logan Paul is the future. So who's going to be the future? Seth Rollins is saying that Braun Breaker is going to be the future, of the wrestling industry. And then John Cena is saying that Logan Paul is the future of the wrestling industry and that he is the last true real champion. So it goes out with both of them holding up the belts and everything. And then John Cena is saying, again, that Logan Paul is the future and he is the last real champion. But I'm betting you in a few months, I'm saying right before or right after SummerSlam, John Cena is going to turn face again. It's got to happen. You can see it. You can almost see it. But anyway, with that, I'm going to say God bless you. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if you agree, disagree with anything that I say. Please, I'm just trying to get some subscribers, on so I can get everything, this monetization and stuff, and just get this channel going. I know I just started and stuff, but I'm trying to get better. I will get better. So, with that, thank you. God bless you. Deuces. Have a great night, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.